You there?
Hey, well, how are you?
Good. And you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can hear you good.
How you been? It's been a while.
Yeah, yes, Mark. It's been quite some time since we last spoke during the last release. So how's it been going so far?
Good. It took a while, but we got it here. It took a while, but things are meant for a reason,
Yeah,
So no, everything's good. I can't complain. Very excited.
fantastic, fantastic, Mark. So, Mark, how was your day so far?
Pardon me?
How was your day so far?
Actually, we flew in from New York this morning,
Oh,
and I'm in California. I was visiting my son, so we're good. It's good. It's a little tiring, but it's good to be home. That's for sure.
fantastic, fantastic. So, Mark, your sophomore album A to Z 2 is to be out on June 6th. So, would you like to tell me a bit on the songwriting process and the production that goes behind this new album?
Well, after the first album, where a couple of the guys were let go, we changed members a little bit, which kind of took the direction a little bit heavier, which is good, which sounded good to me. And it was basically, my good friend Nick Van Dyke for about 30 years. We talked about just doing something together. And then it just kind of rolled into this. And he said, hey, why don't we just continue A through Z if you want to use it? Because I know how much you put into it and how much effort you had. And just to let it go would be kind of a shame. So we started going that way. And he would have he had different ideas. We'd kind of toss them back and forth. I'd record drums to him, maybe have a couple suggestions on make this longer or change this. And it just flowed very naturally and very easily. And then Philip would come in, in the demo stages, play the bass, and, Jimmy would play the keyboards. And then Nick had the idea of bringing Simone in, who actually mixed the first record and was definitely going to mix the second record, to come in and I'll play all the leads because Nick thought he was, and he is, an amazing guitar player, and he thought he could really add something to the band that Nick couldn't really add that Simone had. That would take the band to a whole new level.
Amazing, amazing. And does this album has some kind of theme that was focused on or some kind of concept behind it?
There's no concept. It's just that the album cover fits the music. It's more aggressive.
Mm.
It's a little more edgy. It also really opens up the possibility of this band playing with bands that are a little heavier. If you only had the first album only, it wasn't that edgy. It didn't have that much. It wasn't on the heavier side. I mean, not like we're going to go play with Slayer or anything like that, but you could play with a more hard rocking band and be fine. And that's kind of the goal, is to be able to play in front of all kinds of different audiences.
Amazing, amazing. And speaking of the cover artwork, that your debut album has the zebra with an apple in his mouth, and now you have crocodile. Any particular reason behind this artwork, Mark?
I was working with my friend Mark Cubbage, and we were just talking about different A through Z concepts because I wanted to keep it,
Mm.
and it wasn't necessarily have to be animals and it didn't have to be teeth. And I promise on the third record, there's not going to be any animals. I already kind of have the idea, but there's no animals. Um, and we just kind of came up with the idea. He came up with the idea with the alligators. He actually went out in Florida and photographed a bunch of alligators. And did Metal Blade send you all the artwork?
No, no, not yet.
Oh, you haven't seen the disc, the inside
Yeah, no,
disc?
not yet. Yeah, not yet.
Okay. Well, one of the things taken was one of the signs that Mark, the photographer, shot of like beware of alligators kind of thing that we use on the cover or on the inside sleeve of the album. But then I mean, I always loved Hugh Simon. I just wanted him to do it. We gave him the idea, and then we went back and forth a few times and fixed a couple things. But there's no concept record. I'm not really a big concept record fan. I've never liked that. I just like a record that has great songs. The
Yeah.
artwork
Mm.
ties to the record as far as the mood.
Mm.
I don't think you could switch the album covers on the two records and they really wouldn't work. It just wouldn't work. So I think this album cover fits very well the aggressive style of the music.
Awesome, awesome. And I really had the pleasure to listen to the album in its entirety. And I have to say, the follow-up to your debut album, this is an amazing album that you guys have come up with now with Ray's awesome vocals. I feel a lot of, like you said earlier, a lot of heaviness to the heart, but still keeping the classic sounding of the hard rock in this album. And the works of your majestic drums works was totally mind-blowing, and each and every band member has done an awesome work towards this album. I know there is a lot of hard work that has been put behind this album, and the outcome is totally mind-blowing, Mark. I'm totally
Oh,
loving
thank
each
you.
and every song from this album. So thank you for the awesomeness on the new album. And as a band, as a creator of the music, how do you guys feel about the outcome of the sophomore album?
Oh, we think it's great. Oh no, this is a kind of when you deal with professionals, besides that everybody is, doing their best, everybody's very critical of what they do. So they want to make it the best. So when you have everybody in the band pulling in the same direction, usually you have great results, um, as far as that goes. So we did really well with that. And you're dealing with I've known all the guys. Um, they're friends, some that I've known, like I said, for 30, 40 years, and just really, really good people, people that you can trust. And not trust that they're going to steal your car. I don't mean trust like that, but in a musical sense, that they trust in what you're doing. They believe in what you're doing because this band obviously has a certain path and a certain direction. It's not like all of a sudden we're going to do 12-minute songs and we're going to have, you know, whatever, like all kinds of odd time. There's a direction, there's a purpose. And as long as everybody's pulling in the same direction, good things happen.
Awesome, awesome. And your first single that came out of this album with the music video was Nothing Is Over. And that song itself defined the awesomeness of this album when we first listened to that single. Like, fantastic work behind this song, and the music video was totally an awesome work. Would you like to tell me the making of this video and about the song in particular, Mark?
This is actually one of the first songs that Nick and I wrote when we, his ideas that we took and made into a song. And what's interesting is when he first came, it was in a major key, so it sounded a little different. And I asked him, "Could you put it in a minor key?" Because I like the sound of, the little darker sound of the minor keys. And he did, and we just kind of rolled and we put it together. It was set up for vocals because you have the big chorus areas and the big hooks. Um, it it's I think someone described it as it sounds familiar, but it doesn't sound like anybody. It fits into a thing where someone can hear it and just start tapping their foot, and by the time the second chorus comes around, they already know the song, which is what we're trying to establish. Um, but when you take five and six guys, obviously, the singer's the sixth guy, but you take guys like that that have very high musical IQs and have great feel and great soul and know what to play and what not to play, and you just let them do what they're going to do. Just play whatever you want. Ray, sing whatever you want, sing wherever you want, and then we'll figure it out later. That's when like true creativeness comes out instead of me standing there saying, "Nope, no, don't do that. Do this. No, don't do that. Do this. Don't do that." Just let these guys, they're old enough. They've all done it long enough. They know what works and what doesn't work. And it's just a real pleasure to work with guys like that.
Awesome, awesome, Mark. And yesterday you came up with the another single, I Am Numb. And are there more singles coming out before the release, Mark?
No, the next single will come out 3 days after the release. The release is June 6th, and then the third single will come out June 9th.
Sounds good. And any big plans on the day of the release?
Well, we're looking into the touring right now because we all know it's very, very, very important. It's like 70% of this. The label's very much behind the band. The label put a lot of money and a lot of energy into backing the band and getting everybody out here and doing the videos and to really get things going. So they're helping with trying to line up tour dates and opening act for somebody because this band really has to get out and play live. I think it's very, very important. We have a bunch of videos besides like the singles. I have three other songs that I played like playthroughs with the drums to the singles that I
Mm-hmm.
actually played live drums to it. I purposely played different kind of fills so people wouldn't say, "Oh, he's just playing to the track." I recorded those drums and put it to the music
Good.
and filmed. And there's a bunch of other little videos that I did that, some talking about drum stuff, just
Mm.
stuff so people get a more inside look of what's happening inside the band.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. And you were talking about the plans of touring, but are there some concrete plans for now, or it's still you're still finding
They're
out?
still putting them together. Unfortunately, it's really tough these days for a band to tour, especially people don't really know, they know this band, but they don't know this band. They know the people in it, but we haven't really played, so they don't know. I mean, you can see it in the video, a
Yeah.
little bit of what it'll be like. But they're working on it. It's just really tough for everybody right
Yeah.
now to go out and play. So, but again, we're really looking into something where we can be an opening for a band, play 45 minutes, let's say, play in front of a larger crowd, maybe even a different kind of crowd, not a progressive rock crowd, but more in front of a rock crowd, because we have the songs, the choruses, that we can play. I really feel that we can play with anybody. I'm not worried about it. We can play with anybody.
Absolutely, absolutely, Mark. And I see in your official web page that there are pre-orders with an signed CDs and stuff. And are there any cool merchandise plans or in the works now, Mark?
Yeah, we've sold a few things that were special with the guy sign. We have one left that'll come out right before the whatchamacallit, the release date, a
Hmm.
limited supply of a certain thing. So we have a few things in the works.
Gotcha. Fantastic, fantastic. And how do you feel about this new project A to C, and how do you feel about the road that you have traveled so far, Mark?
There's been obvious a lot of ups and downs. For a minute there, it looked like it was down and it wasn't going anywhere. So now that it's up and going, I feel great. I feel very excited. I'm very happy. Certain things are just meant to be. Maybe the first lineup wasn't meant to go out and play live. Maybe if we would have, those guys would have fallen flat on their face and everybody would have hated the band and that was it. And then that would have been the end of the band. You're better off just letting things happen the way they're supposed to happen. We didn't force anything. And, this time around, hopefully we're going to get out and play and it'll make a big impact.
Absolutely, absolutely. And moving on further from the release and the touring, what would be the next plans for A through Z?
Well, Nick already told me that he has a few different ideas floating around that he's going to get to me. Start working on new material. You can
Mm.
never have enough, new songs. You can never have enough new songs. So that and just really concentrating on the live, and then constant promotion of this band through videos
Mhm.
and, different things, social media that we can do to keep the band alive and until we get out and play. But really going out and playing is everything because once we get out and we're able to play, that'll make a big difference. There'll be a big impact because of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And any highlights since 2022 when the debut album came?
The real part of the highlight, besides just the completion of this record, is when everybody got together. Because what you see in that video of how everybody's kind of hanging out,
Yeah.
that was real. That was just a guy walking around with a camera. We didn't stage that.
Mm.
So everything that you see there is real. And it was a really great feeling with the band. Everybody was everybody got along extremely well. It's just very professional. And, I've known all the guys in different ways for a long time, and I knew everybody getting together, everybody would get along quite well.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Mark, I know you work with so many bands and you have done a career of awesomeness throughout the year, but are there some more projects that you're currently working on apart from A through Z?
No, this is about, well, besides Warlord, I mean, the Warlord thing, we're going out and playing more shows. Um, but besides Warlord and A through Z, it kind of keeps me busy enough. You know, it takes a lot of time, and you know, and I'm constantly working them,
Yeah.
constantly trying to get it going.
Fantastic. Good, good, good. And and Mark, finally, any message that you have for the fans around the world?
Well, I know I said this last time, but it was out of my control that we didn't go out and play, but we definitely are pushing to go out and play. And with the support of the label, something has to happen. There has to be something because there's been too much that's went into this not to go out and play. So to let everybody know, we're getting ready. We're going to come out and play. Hopefully, we're going to see everybody that wants to come see the band, United States, overseas, South America, Japan, wherever. You know, these guys are all ready to go play. So it's just a matter of getting the tour together and we'll go play.
Amazing, amazing, Mark. And Mark, I want to thank you one more time for giving me again this wonderful opportunity to have you on the show to talk about the sophomore album. And I like said earlier, a fantastic work. The same thing from the debut album, and you have improvised a lot of things in this new album, and a totally new, amazing album that we as a fans have from A to Z. So thank you for all the awesomeness. And thank you for keeping the classic hard rock alive. I'm really loving it. And thanks for all the awesomeness, Mark. And I wish you all the best and really hoping to see you on the road, Mark.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate you taking time to talk to us today.
My pleasure, Mark. Take care and have a great evening. Bye bye.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.